welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. So happy you are able to join us today. We're talking a ton of stuff today, but mainly about spoilers for Loki episode 2.
Because, we are also going to be doing an unboxing.
A little unboxing.
From one of our amazing movie bunch
Chris Mendes, guys.
It's
Spider
Chris, thank you so much.
We're also talking about a recap for the Nintendo presentation at E3 and so much more. Welcome to the guys' show today. We are a little flustered because this room have 2 lights on, so it's really, really hot, and we can't have the AC running. Otherwise, you guys are going to hear it. So that's why it's affecting kind of the way we're thinking a little bit, but we also
our friends are a little toasty,
just a little, and wanted to let you guys know the reason why we're choosing to do the Loki spoiler discussion today as opposed to on Saturday's show like we normally do, because there's not going to be a Saturday stream this weekend. It's Father's Day, so we're going to go and spend some time with Dustin's family. And even though the stream is about an hour, roughly hour and a half, we don't really feel that it's appropriate to, take out family time from doing the streams, because we actually see you guys more often than we do the family. So we just thought we ought to give the family our undivided attention. And also happy early Father's Day to all the dads out there. And Dustin mentioned that we do have an unboxing, and this does come from our very own Chris Mendes.
Thank you so much, Chris.
And Chris sent me this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And we're just so excited because we just recently got to see Chris when we went to
Chris
Disneyland,
for the first time.
And it's so awesome to finally meet. To meet you, Chris, and it was so much fun to talk with you. I still feel really bad that we really kind of just shanghaied him at work.
We didn't get you in trouble at work. If anybody's watching from Chris's work, he is like the best person ever, and you should absolutely never get him in trouble. But Chris messaged me on Insta and was like, "Hey, there's a package for you guys." I'm like, "What?" So we're gonna go ahead. We have it right. We have it right here, so we're going to go ahead and open it up. Dustin, will you...
Do you need a hand?
You want to do the honors?
Sure. Actually, we might need... Okay, we still need the X-Acto knife, because I think we still need to get...
I've never been good with the X-Acto knife.
Get this side here, flip it over, get this side there, and here we go.
Blake says, when I hear Dustin say unboxing, I'm like, I don't remember sending anything. We're going to mess with Blake. He's like, wait, what? What happened?
Well, that is. But here we go. Here we go. Do.
Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa! What are these? You grab an I grab one?
Sure.
This is what Chris sent over. The box does marble, fragile. Oh God, what is it?
Look at the number.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
No way!
I know what these are
Is
from.
Chris even in the chat today? I think he's working.
Oh,
well,
but Chris,
you can watch it on
oh my gosh, I'm so excited! I'm so excited.
We've never had anything from this place.
Never.
Oh, and Navi has evacuated the room because she hates
she hates
bubble wraps. Wait, these are the chunky ones. Hold on, I want to pop one.
The big old chunky
ones. Let me not do it in front of the mic.
Oh man, ooh, those are potent.
Okay, I'm not gonna do another one. Navi's gonna be so scared to come back in. But I think you guys remember in one of the previous live streams, Chris mentioned that he was getting to go to Club 33 at Disneyland, and we all talked about how exclusive Club 33 is. You need to have a membership. It's kind of like the Magic Castle. You need to know somebody in order to be invited. That's kind of been one of my goals for my birthday, to actually get to go to the Magic Castle. But I don't know anybody who works at the Magic Castle, so I think that invitation is never going to happen. But I do feel like now I'm like an honorary member of the Club 33.
Are you ready? Oh,
I don't want to ruin the sticker.
I peeled the sticker very carefully. I'm like, I don't want to ruin the sticker.
Guys, even the sticker feels expensive. It's like thicker paper, and it just comes off. This is going to go in my bullet journal for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I'm excited. This looks so cool. Oh wow, it is super wrapped.
Oh my gosh, Chris.
Ooh, look at it's going to be really hard for everyone to see on the camera because
I'll try it.
this mug is so beautifully
Here,
etched.
put your hand over your face for a second.
Hey!
Put your hand over
Oh,
your
sorry.
your
Hand
for
over
a
my
second.
face.
Hold on. There it goes.
You can see that? And that is just such beautiful etching on there.
And it's got this semi-matte, like it's not completely matte, and I love this kind of mug, the way it feels really great in your hand. I have never had any. I didn't even know Club 33 had merch.
That is, I'm wondering, Chris.
Chris,
Chris is
in
thank
the
you
chat.
so much.
Sending in a super chat after you send us gifts. Chris, thank you so much.
Did you have to get this in the I don't think you can get it anywhere else.
Because
this is awesome. This is like, so cool. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
We are going to treasure this. Oh wait. You gotta tink.
That was a very light tink because I don't want anything to happen to the porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. I feel. Oh wow! Oh my gosh! And on the bottom, wait, hold on. I gotta take off
There we go.
The stickies.
Oh yeah, it even says on the bottom, established 1960.
Hide your face again?
Oh, sorry. I'll do it the difficult way.
Club 33 established in 1967. 1967.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around a long time.
Yep. Oh, that
I
is
can
so
fit
cool.
so much coffee and tea.
And they are huge
mug.
cups.
Yeah, this is great. Every time Dustin and I get a new mug, we take one that we don't use as often, and we say goodbye to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of been the case. So I got a really cool TVA one that you guys saw last week. So now we have to say goodbye to 2 mugs. So we have a lot, and a lot of these sometimes are like kind of older ones that has chips on the side, and I'm like, no, but it means something. I can't throw it away.
It's sentimental.
So we have an entire. Let me know if you guys are also crazy with like collecting mugs and stuff like that, because
or if there is something besides mugs, and that is just what you collect, and it's just like a wall of pops, a wall of mugs, a wall of spoons.
A wall of spoons.
Probably Disney pens. We also have a good amount of Disney pens.
Yeah, we have some Disney pens. Chris, this is amazing. Thank you so much for making us feel super special.
Thank you so
much. And feel part of it, like an honorary Club 33. This is great.
Oh, this is so cool.
Thank you. I almost don't want to put anything in it.
I know. I was kind of like, I can put my. No, I don't want to.
I
don't want to. It's gonna
coffee.
Stain.
No, you want to drink out of here? Water. Sparkling water. Nothing that'll stain. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. That's amazing.
Thank you. This is so cool.
Chris, I hope your Disneyland trip was fantastic. Because I believe you were going. I think it was like just recent. Well, obviously, just
it was just a few days after us, I think.
So I hope you have you had tons of fun. Let me know if the food was delicious. I'm sure it was. A super chat flowing in from Justin.
Thank you so much, Justin.
Justin writes, hope you guys are planning to seeing In the Heights. I really love the movie and saw it in a theater. Maybe my favorite so far this year. High praise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually did get to see In the Heights. Thank you so much.
There you go.
I was like, what is it? I didn't actually
I didn't want to interrupt your mid thought.
But there is a non-spoiler review out on the channel. If you guys want to take a look at that, doesn't spoil the movie, and it's very vague, especially if you've seen the musical, the music. But we enjoy the movie very much. We wish we had seen it in theaters. We actually opted for watching it at home just because it was convenient and because we're subscribers of HBO Max, and that's the way we chose to do it. But after seeing all the dance number, like specifically 96,000, we're like, man, we should have seen this in the theaters. And it's not too late.
Some of
we
the
still
huge
can.
numbers, and I love the fact on how they really did they did an amazing job on showing the community and making it really feel like everyone in the community was dancing kind of a thing. So I really, it's one of those movies that if you see it in the theaters, that's a good movie to go see in the theaters.
Yeah, exactly. I had like that mug question earlier to see if anybody else collected mugs. So we have in our kitchen almost like half of our
we
cabinet
really need to get
is
rid of some
filled
of our mugs
with mugs, and and I still have very specific ones that I will use only. So
we now have
two
new
more
centerpieces.
So cool. Yeah, all the other bugs move aside. We should put them on their own shelf because they're exclusive. And then charge all the other mugs $25,000 a year to like sit on the same shelf. That's amazing.
That's what Chris was telling us, is that's how much it is to be a member each. Like that's like your initial.
No, we looked it up too.
You looked it up, and that's like your initial charge, and then it's like $10,000 a year after that, and then you still have to pay for everything else that goes in.
Who has that much money?
Well, there's lots of people who have that sick amount of money. We are not one of them, but someday it's one of those things that you're like, maybe we will be.
Yes, maybe we will be. Joseph Whitaker in the chat asking, are you guys going to get Metroid Dread this year? We absolutely are, and we can't wait to talk to you guys about the Nintendo E3 presentation. But before that, let's go ahead and get to some of our news flash just super quick before we get to Loki and Nintendo. And since, Chris kind of brought up the theme of the topic of Disney, I figure we'll just go ahead and jump into our first Disney topic here. That is, why was Disneyland so crowded? Now, I should put a disclaimer. When I say Disneyland, I mean the exterior areas of Disneyland so not speaking about in the park, but yesterday my friend sent me an Instagram story, and, obviously you guys know, was June 15th, Tuesday, and here in California, that means the mask mandates have lifted, and I believe some capacity has also lifted, but I also believe that's depending on each individual business, on how they want to run their private business, and that includes Disneyland. Yeah. It's not a state-run thing, so they can run it. If they want to keep capacity where it is, great. If they want to lift it completely, they can do that too.
Yeah, well, I think it's just the mask mandate. Everything else is still the same. All it is is... Oh, the capacity went up too?
Well, they're saying you can.
Oh, got it.
But
yeah, I think Disney is keeping it at where they are. Also, it's the fact that, not only... It's because, it's a federal ruling, but then each state and state governor chooses what they do. And then each county, then each city. So, like, for example, in Pasadena, they aren't lifting the mask mandate at all. Because from what I have seen is that they are going to keep it to help support the businesses who want to keep the masks on.
Oh, that's nice. So they don't have to deal with
people
yelling at them about their mask rule.
People hear, oh, mask mandate, yay, and just think all the rules are gone.
And that's kind of what happened, I believe, in Anaheim yesterday. So the IG story, and I wish I had the time to actually put it on here. I totally forgot, but it was so crowded, especially on the harbor side of Anaheim Disneyland, that people were pouring off the sidewalk and into the actual street where cars drove, lining up to get inside Disneyland. Keep in mind that Disneyland has not come out to say, other than they've relaxed the mask mandate for guests who are vaccinated, though they're not requiring proof of vaccination for those who are vaccinated. Because how do you keep track of that?
Yeah.
Other than making people wear a wristband, but that seems like you're kind of walking into some other territory. But Disney has never come out to say Disneyland is open for all. They said that they would be lifting the mandates. They may be increasing capacity. I believe they removed some of the social distancing stickers for outdoor stuff. Indoor, I believe on the rides, you still have to wear your masks because it's kind of different with the air circulating. But I think a lot of people thought, oh, mask mandates lifted, therefore we can just go to Disneyland and buy a ticket. Not so. So all those people dressed up, lined up, parked in downtown Anaheim or in the Anaheim area, lined up to be told, do you have a ticket and reservation for today? I am so sorry, you can't buy a ticket. That's still not happening. So it's really interesting to kind of see people's kind of thought process and this means this when it was never actually specified that way.
And bottom line, lesson to learn. If you are curious about any rules being relaxed, any new methods or what is going to happen, call the business and find out. Always check, look online before you go. Even if you're just going to, say, a movie theater, find out ahead of time before actually going down there. That's just my recommendation for any theme park, any kind of place where there's a huge social gathering.
Yeah.
Because even though it seems like this is what is happening, each individual business still has the right to be able to say, well, we still would like to do this rule.
I'm trying to find what my friend sent me.
Oh, that one crazy picture?
Yeah, I don't know if she put it up on her her thing, but I ended up following the person whose account was let me see if I can find it.
And yeah, this picture that I saw, it was just people were like going, because there's the sidewalk, then there's like that strip of planter between the street and the sidewalk in Anaheim around Disneyland, and people were just like right across it.
It's gone because it was a story, so it's disappeared. But it was just a mass amount of people. You saw a lot of mini ears. You saw a lot of like Loungefly backpack, which is like I love seeing people geared out in Disney. I just wish that people had like stopped for a second and went, oh, this doesn't equal to that. It doesn't mean everything is open completely back to normal. Like, I love people think like mask mandate dropped, that meant the virus disappeared. I really wish it worked like that. If it could just disappear, I think we'd all love that. Especially for my friends who are like immune compromised and cancer survivors and things like that. They're definitely more at risk. So I do worry for them because they're all Disney, park goers as well. So I'm just like, make sure you like mask up. So anyways, the bottom line is we just had to talk about it because it was crazy. But upon further research, it was only busy outside because inside the park, it was just at the capacity that they were expecting, which is about 35, 40 or something like that.
Which I find hilarious is that there's so many cast members that we kind of found online that were just like, it was a normal day inside.
In fact,
everyone else, we had no idea it was crazy outside until we kind of like heard word about it.
Or was like driving to and from work and was like, what's happening? It was such a normal day for them. In fact, that one of the cast members said that the Avengers Campus area, normally you can only get in if you wait in the super long queue to walk in, or you have a boarding pass for Web Slinger. She said that it was a walk in or a walk up at 1:30, which means you can just walk up and they will say, welcome to Avengers Campus, which is like not the case for us because we didn't wait in line for Avengers Campus, but we saw the line. It was crazy. So anyways, just to know.
Just to let you know, if you're going to go to Disney.
Clarify with the actual business before you show up.
Yeah. Any business you go to, just, hey, just out of pure morbid curiosity, what are your rules now?
Late to the party, popping into the chat and writes, we just watch all the Disney madness from afar. Probably won't go back to Disneyland until next year or the year after. I agree with that. And also, it's hot right now. It's the summer. Like, yeah, Dustin and I are going to go back in July because we bought the ticket. But after July, we probably aren't going to hit up Disney again. We'll hit up like downtown Disney. So we can get our fix. But I don't think, because tickets aren't cheap. So,
well, and that also, it's the fact that right now in June, it's 100 degrees here in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. In July, I'm a little nervous that when we go in July, it's going to be like 115. And I'm just like, yeah, we're going to be sitting down, not really doing much of anything.
We're going to go on the Small World 20 times because that ride has AC. And it goes really, really slow. Debbie also says, if you don't check, it makes for chaos. It sure does. JCL says, at least I'm going to Disney World and not Disneyland. Man, Disney World, look, I love my Disneyland. I love it. It's super accessible for us, especially living in LA. But I will say Disney World is far better in just, like, not capacity, but like different rides, and they have 4 parks instead of the 2 that we have here. The only, like, I guess, like, one up on them we have here on the West Coast is we have Avengers Campus, which I'm sure they're going to get eventually. I actually don't know how that works. They get the
Star Wars Hotel. We get Avengers Campus. Then hopefully we'll get the Star Wars Hotel, and they'll get Avengers Campus.
Hope so.
Because I want that hotel so bad.
I will say, I don't know if Orlando Disney World can get Avengers Campus because Universal Studios Orlando has all that Marvel theme park stuff. So I don't know how the rights work for that aspect because, there's like the movies and certain like television rights, but then like Sony has the right to all the Spider-Man stuff, even though it's Marvel. But then Universal Studios Orlando has all of the Marvel stuff. Like they have the Hulk roller coaster, they have the Spider-Man ride, they have the Dark Doom drop thing. They have walk around characters, all the X-Men characters walk around. So I don't really know. Is Orlando in Florida? Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. And thank you guys for noticing the awesome shirt that Blade GTR has given me.
Thank you, Blade, and this.
I love the shirt. It's very nice and comfy.
Our Bucky's.
And of course, you know, I'm very much an Obi-Wan fan. Hello there.
Hello there. So cute. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next bit of news, and this is more casting news for Knives Out 2. Jessica Henwick has joined the cast, and again, we don't really know too much about who's playing who, what the storyline is, but she's been cast in Rian Johnson's sequel for Knives Out, and I'm just so excited. I loved seeing her in Iron Fist, and of course, Game of Thrones, and I just want more and more and more of her. I think she's really magnetic on screen, and I would also like to see her in a role where she doesn't need to do martial arts. I mean, I love her doing martial arts, but I really don't. I want to see her like something different. And I think the whodunit she can have a lot of fun with, especially with this cast, this ever-growing cast. So we just wanted to kind of mention that a little bit, you know, because you guys probably already familiar with her work if you've watched Iron Fist or if you watch Game of Thrones.
And I loved what I've seen her in so far. And just to hear, anytime that you're hearing about casting for any movie or show that you're excited about, the main thing is that whether or not they're just adding talent. Whether or not they're adding good talent, what kind of talent they're adding, and just the more and more that you hear that you like what they're adding, the more excited we get for Knives Out. I'm just really curious too, because they are making Knives Out 2 and 3. So I'm curious if this does carry over into Knives Out 3.
Yeah. Oh, if they survive, or if that'll be not survive, because the first family survived as well. But if he'll just move on to a different case.
Yeah,
so they're kind of like the Agatha Christie stuff. Like it's all in like that universe, and they may or may not connect, but they don't necessarily have to connect.
And that's something that I'm really curious to find out too. Yeah, if it's one big mystery, or if it's really this one all by itself, that one gets concluded, and then the third movie is all by itself, and then that one concludes. I think they would want to test it out, since it's going to be straight to Netflix, right? Is it Netflix? Yeah. It's straight to Netflix, so might as well make them have the second one leave with a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'd be cool, or if like Martha or one of the cast members from the first movie kind of make a mini appearance, but they also don't need to. Like I actually enjoyed. I can enjoy these stories if they're kind of not compacted, but contained into their own, you know.
So where they're two separate mysteries.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, that would be cool too.
Yeah.
And maybe there would be a little bit of bleed over from one mystery. Maybe once one mystery is solved, it kind of is like, wait a second. But if this happened here, that means here comes the next movie.
Yeah, here comes the next movie. And speaking of movies, we heard, thank you to our movie bunch dropping this in our Discord, AMC Theaters to take over 2 prime LA locations. Although I don't consider one of them to be technically LA because it's in Glendale, but they are taking over 2 Pacific Cinema locations, one for The Grove, which I consider to be LA, and one Americana that's in Glendale. So both of the Pacific Cinemas, I don't know if that means that the Pacific Cinemas are shut down or they just got bought out by AMC.
I think it's more along the lines of that they bought the property and they bought the theater, and then they're going to just transition it to an AMC theater. Because that's what would make the most sense, is then you just go into the theater and change the branding.
Yeah.
And then you have, this is now your theater kind of a thing. So I'm always sad to hear when a certain franchise or a certain business chain goes down and they get bought out, because now that just makes competition less. So there's now less and less.
Like you almost have a monopoly on movie theaters.
Like this whole time,
all this brands.
This whole time, AMC's been complaining and complaining.
I was just thinking that, and here they are taking over 2 locations.
And they're the ones who are probably going to survive and now be all movie theaters are AMC's kind of a thing. And that's just never good, because once there's no competition, there's no incentive for these theaters to have better experiences, to give better concessions, or to make their places nice and cleaner.
I forget that Pacific is technically the ArcLight chain family. I forgot about that. So reading about this article, reading about this from an article on Variety, Pacific Theaters was founded in 1946, and it was announced in April that it would not reopen its 17 locations as the pandemic restrictions loosened, and that includes about half a dozen locations and the ArcLight location in Southern California and across the country. So the two locations, the one at the Grove and the one in the Americana, which, by the way, like if you live in LA or if you're visiting LA ever in the future, like next year maybe, if you want to go to like a really cool looking mall, Americana and the Grove are absolutely gorgeous, especially at night. You want to go because it's like lit up and it's really, really pretty. It's like kind of like an indoor outdoor, mostly outdoor mall. The Grove has a pretty sizable farmers market.
Yes,
so we would recommend checking that out.
If you did not mention the farmers market at the Grove, I was, and it is
that's
so
what we go
cool
for.
to go to this, and it really is kind of like just like a little outdoor food market, and it just does have a little bit of that reminiscent vibe of when we went to Taiwan.
Yeah, because the
food.
stalls are very close together, which I'm pretty sure right now then they're not really able to operate. Well, maybe now.
They're outside. Too, I mean,
yeah, technically
they're technically outside. So
they're just under like a
little canopy.
Covering. Yeah. So on Tuesday, so yesterday, the ticketing websites showed the two new theater locations in the city, and it was said to have the words AMC the Americana 18 and AMC the Grove 14. But then later, those locations were scrubbed from the AMC app and website. And then the mall spokesperson, the spokesperson for the mall, basically said, quote, "We don't have any new information to share at this time." And AMC has also declined to comment. So I wonder if somebody pulled the trigger just a little early.
They did.
But I mean, inevitably, it's going to happen.
Yeah, true.
I feel like companies at this point should just be prepared. Like, well, yeah, it's happening. You guys already saw it. So, in any case, that is that. And I guess more AMCs will be popping up, here in California.
I always did like the AMC Prime. I thought that was always a really cool theater. I loved the chairs. I love the experience. I love the sound and the picture that they have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just also really sad just to see ArcLight go.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always an event to go to an ArcLight.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope, that AMC kind of keeps up the tradition of excellence that the previous theaters stood for.
Yeah, I hope so, because I really did enjoy the Pacific Cinemas. Like, you and I have attended many press screenings in those locations. So hopefully that will continue as screenings, more public in-person screenings are coming back. And yeah, we'll see about how AMC does this year, coming back from not just the drama of remember what the CEO had said about we don't want to put their movies in our theaters then, when everybody was literally just trying to survive the pandemic, which is we don't know how to deal with this. Nobody knew. It was really let's play it by ear and let's just learn as each day comes. And they don't have money to now taking over 2 locations. But if that means that, people are guaranteed work so they can survive, then so be it. So that's kind of how we feel. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. And should we dive into, it's already 2:30, so should we go ahead and dive into the Nintendo presentation, E3. So I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping up with all of the E3 this entire weekend, but I definitely had my eyes on the Nintendo presentation because Dustin and I grew up on Nintendo. We have a Switch.
Play a lot of Nintendo.
We love it. We still both have our 3DSs.
Nintendo.
Yeah, stream Nintendo games. So we wanted to kind of talk about the overall presentation. And one of the things that people, we'll just say it right off top, one of the things that people really thought that we were going to get was any sort of leak or news about the Nintendo Switch Pro, of which I think, unless I missed it, but I was sitting in front of my computer the entire time, unless I missed it, they didn't utter a single word about the Nintendo Switch Pro. And I think if they were to announce it, they would have done it in June if they were gearing up to release it for the holidays.
Yeah.
So,
and that's honestly what I was really expecting too, is the fact that, hey, we've got this new thing out. Everyone's recovering from the pandemic. Now it's time to get that new gaming system kind of thing, since you can't get a PS5. Still.
Hey, look, Movie Bunch Adam was very helpful in giving me some great tips on how to where to look to how to acquire a PS5.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look into that and see if we can hopefully
There's also
maybe acquire one.
One big explanation too is the reason why we're not getting any news about the Switch Pro is the fact the Switch Pro is having the same problems that all the other systems are having at this time. It's the fact that they can't get this one kind of a chip. There's certain material. Well, that's what it is. Supply chain? Because of the supply chain. So it's kind of like, yeah, we wanted to talk about it, but we really have nothing to say right now because we are not going to be able to get it out at the time that we want to.
Yeah,
so we're not gonna.
Why release it like a none news?
Yeah, exactly.
Just for people to complain, oh, that was it. Then you might as well just not release it all because the end result is the same. But they did release a lot of fun headlines and upcoming titles and games and news to look forward to. And before we start talking about that, we're gonna go ahead and jump into Justin's super chat.
Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you, Justin. Justin writes, do both of you guys have a favorite Nintendo game? I love Paper Mario as a kid, yeah. And I've always wished I could play more of their games. I've never beaten a Zelda game, I've never beat a Zelda game, even if I want to one day. I hope that you get to beat a Zelda game one day. It is so satisfying. It is so fun. And if you're anything like me and Dustin, because you're a completionist too, like, right?
A little bit.
Am I more?
I still haven't. It's the same thing. A lot of the Zelda games, I've gotten really far in, and then at one point I drop off. So yeah, I'm like right now, Breath of the Wild. The only thing I'm actually in the castle right now, of Ganon's castle. So I just have to defeat that one. You just have to do it
before 2022.
Exactly.
That's when the second one comes out.
So I still have that same thing. One of my the games that I played a lot was A Link to the Past for Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was an awesome game. Got so far in it, and then I just didn't, because I think it's also the fact that at the time my brother was playing it and he beat it. So then it kind of lost that competitive edge a little bit, like, oh, you already beat it, kind of a thing. But he was also very much a completionist, to where he would take notes.
No, he was a different kind. He was not just analytical, but he was. And I thought, was he a Virgo? No, he's not. June.
No, yeah.
He's a Gemini or something.
I don't know what. I just know my sign.
Birthday is what? June
27th.
7th?
June 27th, yes.
What? Hold on. I don't think that's Gemini.
But definitely, I've loved me some. My favorite, though. I can give you like my top 5. I mean, I love Smash Brothers. I love Mario Kart, Mario Party. I love games that I can sit down, have a whole bunch of friends over, and play at once. And one of my games that I loved doing that the most was on the Wii U, and it was that like that haunted mansion game when one person was the ghost and everyone else had like the little flashlights.
Yeah.
I loved that.
You like co-op games?
Yeah, I love co-op games. So and not games where we're necessarily always fighting against each other, but when you're working together as a team. Those are like my all-time favorite games.
For me, I love a co-op game, but I also love a good RPG. I'm less like first-person shooter, even though I could do it. But I would be more interested in a first-person shooter if there was a more of like a fantasy or otherwise like sci-fi storyline. So like Left 4 Dead was great for me. Halo I played because a lot of my friends played, but I wasn't like super into it because I enjoy some of the other storylines better. So RPG, sim games, obviously you guys know that I love my Animal Crossing. So, I love that. Currently playing Paper Mario, Origami King, streaming a little bit tomorrow, trying to stream early because we got a press screening to go to tomorrow night. So I got to make sure I'm not ending too late because when I start playing, I lose track of time.
Oh, and Blade, right? You are absolutely correct. The best I cannot tell you how many hours I dropped into GoldenEye.
Oh,
that
yes.
One of the very first amazing not cooperative, but like you can play with 4 people at home, shooting each other, kind of a thing. Yeah. I loved GoldenEye, and of course I had one friend who it would be me, and my two brothers versus him, and he'd kick our butts.
Oh, really? That
Oh,
good,
he
huh?
was really good.
Impressive. Let's see. What did I say? So all the Zelda games, most of the Zelda games. I'm not gonna say all. Let's be completely honest about. There's some Zelda games I'm like pass. Zelda games. A lot of the Mario ones. Like I love my Paper Mario, Mario Party, Mario Kart. I do enjoy Smash as like a party game. I wouldn't play that by myself.
You played a lot
Nintendo.
of the one where it was the inside Bowser story.
Mario and Luigi, the Inside Story, or Bowser Inside Story, or something.
Yeah,
like that. That one was great. Dream Team, not so great. That one I actually still haven't finished. Pokemon.
Oh yeah, a lot of the Pokemon games too.
Pokemon games.
You got a lot farther in Eevee and Pikachu than I did.
Yeah, you barely got out of the first like chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know what some of you guys' favorite Nintendo games are. Doesn't have to be to a specific system, just any as you were growing up. Let us know and put that in the chat. And don't forget, if you're enjoying our conversation, go ahead and hit that like button. Really helps us out a lot here on YouTube. Yeah, Justin says, right in time. Don't forget Pokemon. I almost actually forgot because I was so because we're talking Mario and things like that. So,
but speaking of new game, speaking of the games that we are excited about and we've loved in the past, Metroid Dread. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. Honestly, I normally don't get this excited for side-scrolling games. I think the
platform games are tough.
Yeah. Because they're all jumping games.
Yeah, I'm gonna die a lot in this game, but I'm still gonna buy it. So this Metroid, when I was actually surprised when they dropped the announcement, because it's been almost 20 years, I think it's like 19 years since the last Metroid game, and all of a sudden when I remember watching the trailer and I was like, Metroid? Are they remastering one of the old ones? But no, this is a whole new one. It's updated, but they're keeping kind of the retro 2D look combined with a little 3D. But I think one of the more interesting things about this is they added a different element, and this kind of stalker sentry type of a robot named Emmy. EMMI is the acronym. I don't know what it stands for, but it's straight out of your worst Black Mirror nightmare. They crawl on the walls, kind of look like the spider, and they will hunt you down. There's different modes where if it's just naturally patrolling the area, not on alert, then it's kind of glowing blue and you just have to avoid it. But once it starts to hear your sounds, and notice your presence, and it's going to glow yellow. And then once it catches you in its cone of sight, then it turns red. And it's basically like catch and kill mode. And this thing, Emmy, it's fast. It's that's just when I was watching the Treehouse presentation of it, and they were trying to show us what happens if you get caught. It basically is an instant kill. There's no way to go about. None of Samus's weapons work, with the exception I saw in the Treehouse presentation is the Omega Arm Cannon, if you happen to have it and you haven't used it, because once you use it, deplete it, it's gone. And that was the only thing that they showcased that could be effective as of now that we know, to be able to slow down or destroy an Emmy. But it's not just one. There's several of them hanging out throughout the map. So you can walk into an area with one patrolling at any time, and they follow you until you can cloak yourself, or or they kill you. So it's crazy.
That I am a little surprised about those, that they've never really done a open world kind of what is it called, kind of like a Breath of the Wild, but with Metroid. And I think that would be something that I would love to see. I think there might have been a game that was kind of like that, but that was back on the not on the 3DS. That was back on the Nintendo 64.
Oh, whoa!
So that was a while ago.
Call back. Which game was this?
It was a Metroid game.
But which was it? The very first
I can't remember
one?
I can't remember the last part.
Yeah, I think we're too young for the very first
one. No,
right? I don't know.
I definitely played the very first one on the Nintendo.
I don't think I don't know. I don't remember, but I do remember playing some of the later iterations of it.
I remember spending many hours on that game.
Yeah. Stardew says Wendy must be a little scared of the spider robot. I mean, look, it doesn't technically look
anything.
It's anything that resembles a spider. Sometimes crabs, I look at crabs and I'm like, ah!
Sea spider!
Sea spider! But it's different because they have these little, and then they walk sideways. Spiders can kind of go in all directions. And crabs can't really walk forward. They gotta walk sideways. So it's less scary. Anyways, we're super excited about Metroid Dread. we're definitely going to get it. I think it's out this October. So we should probably hop on that pre-order and maybe check out a demo if they have it. See if I can even jump on the walls. Because if I'm going to just get frustrated while I'm playing during a stream, then what's the point of getting it? Some of the other things to note, they have a new challenger has joined the fight in Super Smash, and that is Kazuya from Tekken. And I thought that was really interesting the way they presented it, because he kept on like carrying any of the other fighters and just throwing them over the cliff. But then he got Kirby, and he threw Kirby down, and he was like, and you see behind him Kirby just whoop, 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 up and like went away. He's like, where'd that thing go? So if you're into Super Smash, there's a new challenger introduced. We're also getting the Guardians of the Galaxy game for the Switch, and that's also coming out in October. So I feel like we're going to be playing lots of games and buying lots of games in October.
Yep. That just gives us more stuff to stream.
Yeah.
And we still have to finish Luigi's Mansion.
Oh my god!
We're like only maybe like a floor or two away.
Maybe we stream it later today or something.
Maybe we can tackle that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that so we can finish it. I think Noah was the person who put asking us about it in the chat. But since we were talking about Mario Party and late to the party, hopefully it's still here. Mario Party Superstar is coming. So this has newish boards. I think they're reusing a lot of the boards from previous iterations.
And then just vamping them up.
Yeah, so we watched the one where they're on the cake, and I thought that was super cute. We love Super Smash, so all the games are fun. And now they've included online play, so you can play it online. You can play with your friends. Robin and Vanessa, we can't wait to play with you guys. Once we have that figured out, there's new/old, like remastered mini games, which is a lot of fun. And it's kind of one of my favorite things about Mario is not just like the roll the dice and walk around the map and try to get the star. It's the mini games, because it gets so chaotic in the middle, where I don't know if you guys do this, like if you have, say, if somebody is playing Rosalina and Peach, let's say I'm Rosalina and you're Peach, and you're in the mini games, sometimes my eyes do the thing where I shift and I start looking at now my character.
Oh, I do that all the time.
And I'm like, what's wrong with the... Oh,
and I've done that before, too, in Smash Brothers, to where I'm just like, wrong character!
That's so stupid. Why? A couple of other things. Let's see, they have a new Monster Hunter coming. This is Story 2, Wings of Ruin. That's coming out very soon. July 9th is the day. It's the same day that Black Widow drops in theaters. And you guys, I'm so excited for this. For any Wario fans out there, we're getting Warioware. It's called Get It Together, where you can actually play as like Wario, and it's the same wacky type of mini games. There's a 2-player feature this time, so it's not just kind of like passing the room out to your friends. You can both play co-op in competition. That's super fun, and that's coming out my birthday month, September 10. And then we have, I'm so excited for this, Shin Megami Tensei 5. This is coming out November 12th of 2021. You are basically, and I think this is a remastered version. I don't remember. I don't know if this is like a completely new one, but please let me know if I am wrong. But basically, it's this girl, the character. She's in Tokyo. She's a student, and she's walking home in this kind of like tunnel, like subway tunnel, but there's no train coming, obviously. And she kind of gets bamfed, and she's bamfed into like Tokyo, but in another dimension where angels and demons exist, and she basically she has to fight them, but she can also recruit demons to join her team, to become allies. So she can also fuse demons together to create a whole new demon, use their powers. I just thought that was really, really interesting.
Just the world creation itself sounds fun and exciting, and it does seem like it's definitely it seems kind of open world.
Yeah.
So, and I love those kind of games, and I love the fact of being able to get other creatures to kind of join you, and then having them fight by your side.
It's so cool. The animation looks fantastic. And one of the next games that I thought was really cool to me, but I want to check out the gameplay if they were to have like a demo, is Danganronpa 5. It's the all-star. There's like 3 or something different games in there. But the one that piqued my interest was the bear, the Kuma, is kind of the student, like the dean of the school, and where he's telling the students, it's basically battle royale and then Among Us in the same game, because you have to go and like, you know, you have to survive, you have to sacrifice or like kill off one of your roommates, which is crazy, like battle royale type. But then afterwards, once it's been discovered that somebody has died or been killed, you have to be held to a trial, and you have to, you know, bring forth evidence or defend yourself against, you know, any accusations against you, or maybe you want to point your finger at a suspect. And I thought that was really interesting. I'm not great at Among Us. I usually, first of all, I've been playing the game for a while. I have never once been the imposter.
Me neither.
No, you just recently played. Were you not the imposter?
Nope. I was never the imposter.
I voted for you.
I know you guys voted for me, but I was not the imposter.
Sorry.
And I just recently played this past weekend for the first time. And I've always had it on my phone. I'm like, I'm going to play. But it's always kind of weird to play your very first time with no one being your friend kind of a thing. And it was funny because we were all playing online. I mean, we were all on Zoom. And I had this one moment to where the very first time I got killed, I was like, "Ash!" And expletive. And everyone just started laughing because they went, "Oh, I guess Dustin died."
There's no poker face there.
None.
That's why you mute your mic when you're playing.
No one else was muting their mic.
That's true.
So this is the first time that I've ever played. So I would love to start trying to see if we can get like, play a little bit more Among Us.
And for the horror fan in me, there's this game called Fatal Frame, which looks creepy AF, and it's called Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water. It's a horror game. You're ghost hunting, but you're taking photos. So sometimes you don't see the ghosts appear until you take the photos. Right. And it's set in like the Japanese, you know, like the haunts and the graveyards and the cemeteries, and it's just creepy. It's super creepy. I got creeped out watching the trailer, and I was like, I am putting that on my list to buy. So I'm super excited about that.
How weird would that be to have a camera, and if you went around a graveyard and took pictures, it would actually take pictures of ghosts. So when you looked at it, you would see whatever ghost was there.
Don't they have that now? I feel like I've watched enough Ghost Hunters to know that they have that kind of device, that like thermal stuff.
Well, they say that it does.
I believe it. Let me have my thing. Let me have my ghosts. Just not in this house. We also, going back to the Mario theme, they announced Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. It's just chaotic. I love the Rabbids, and I love the combination of Mario, and I think they had another game before where they teamed up with the Rabbids.
I think so too.
I don't think I played that one, but this one I think I want to get. It just looks crazy, mad fun. And then onto Zelda news, they have an expansion pack, which we already kind of knew about if you've been following any of the Nintendo Directs this year. But they have the Age of Calamity Wave 1 expansion pack coming soon. And then they also have the Skyward Sword HD that's coming out July 16th. So you don't have to wait very long. If you didn't get to play the version on the Wii U, you can now get it on the Switch. And you can have, if you want to, like, if you have the regular Switch, not the Switch Lite, you can take the controllers and you can play it kind of like this, like where I think you can swing your sword up and down, and then you can put this up for your shield.
They made it look really interesting, the way that you're able to now kind of, it's going to be the same game, but you can now play it in a different way to make it a little bit more active kind of a thing.
Yeah. And then they also have they announced this, I thought it was super cute, the Game & Watch. A little device that they pulled out of their pocket, and it's going to include 4 games, and I just thought that was cute. For any Zelda fanatics out there, we know one who, if there's any sort of like the Zelda sticker slap on it, he'll buy it. I can definitely see him wanting to get that for himself and put it like on his office desk or something like that. And of course, Breath of the Wild 2, finally a little bit of an announcement, finally a trailer. Games coming out in 2022, so we saw like, you know, kind of these like red like sparks and crackles and tendrils kind of coming out with the castle, and Link doing a very specific thing where he kind of like kitty prides himself up the tower. And I was like, well, because I don't think we had that ability.
No, not yet.
On the Breath of the Wild. So I thought that was really interesting that they showed that. I wish they were able to show a little bit more, maybe gameplay or just reveal something else. But they really just gave. Look, I think I'm just happy that they gave us anything at all, because I really didn't think we were going to get Breath of the Wild news at all. So I'm happy that we did.
I was hoping that we were, just because they had made an announcement on the last one.
Yes.
That they did, saying, "Oh, we don't have any Breath of the Wild, but here is some Legend of Zelda news."
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So I was hoping that they were going to, like, by the time they do the next big group of announcements, that they would have a little bit more on Breath of the Wild too.
Yeah, so I'm just happy that we got to have a new trailer, and then hopefully Dustin will get to beat the game before 2022.
Before it starts, I'm sure I'll
How bad would it be? Because I'm seeing Justin's, is it Justin? So Jack's comment here. How bad would it be if you just finished the boss battle with Ganon?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to fight him again.
Yep. And then you have to start right.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, that's the arch nemesis. Like, who else would he fight?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the one you fight isn't the real one.
Maybe.
I don't know. We haven't actually looked up the end, and we don't want to know until we get to it. So. Also,
a side note for another game that I'm also really excited about. It's kind of, I don't know if it's technically an independent game, but it's the Advance War.
Oh, yes.
That I saw. And I love those strategic kind of like chess, almost turn-based games, like Final Fantasy Tactics, like Heroes of Might and Magic.
Yeah.
I love those kind of games, like Civilizations.
Yes.
I love those kind of games. And this game looked really fun, really cute. And I'm kind of like, okay, this is right in my wheelhouse. So that's another game that I'm kind of excited for. Besides the big
in December when it comes out.
Besides, like, the big, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild coming out, and all the big titles.
Yeah, so I was pretty satisfied with this presentation, especially getting to watch the gameplay for Metroid Dread. Like, that got me really excited amongst all the other games that I kind of want to pick up. I already have all my notes written down, so I know what to get when they come out. I am a little bummed that we didn't get any more from any Pokemon news.
Yeah.
Any Animal Crossing updates, any new Paper Mario type of a deal. Like, we didn't get any of that. So that was kind of interesting, but I guess how much can you cram into one 40-minute presentation?
Yes.
So I don't know. Because, like, some of the...
You do have a limited time, and you only have a certain amount of stuff that you can talk about.
Right. Because some of the titles that they announced, I didn't care about, but that's just because I didn't care about it. It doesn't mean someone else in the world isn't like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this. You know? So, hopefully everybody was satisfied with this presentation.
I keep on looking down and catching the bubble wrap in the corner of my eye. I'm thinking it's Navi.
I'm gonna kick it. I keep doing the same thing. Before we move on to Loki spoilers, we're gonna go ahead and take the super chat from Justin. Sorry to make you wait, Justin. Justin writes, I am a really huge fan of Jessica Henwick. So very happy to see she'll be in Knives Out too. Don't forget, she'll also be in The Matrix 4 and the next Netflix film, The Gray Man by the Russo brothers. Lucky her. Yeah, keep your eyes on her. She's super talented. And what I like about her is she's very commanding on screen, but she's very
not
like
overpowering.
Not overpowering, and not like, she's very natural. Even in like the scenes where she's, delivering a monologue that has a lot of power and intensity, it still seems natural, like she's not putting it on. Yeah. So she kind of puts you at ease when you watch her. And that's why I really enjoyed Colleen so much in Iron Fist.
And honestly, she was one of the best things about Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So it's always really nice to kind of see someone that you're like, oh, I loved them when we first saw them in this, and see them getting more and more work, being in more and more projects, and it just makes you excited to see those movies.
Yeah. So we're excited for her. She's got all the work coming her way, and we can't wait to see her in all the projects. Like, she's probably gonna do some ass kickery, right?
I hope so.
Matrix 4.
We know that she can.
Yeah, we definitely know that she can. So we will see. And with that, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our final topic for today, and that is Loki episode 2, a spoiler discussion. This episode was titled The Very End, and the reason why, just to kind of remind you guys why we're doing the spoiler today, it's because Navi, hit the camera.
Go lay down, Navi.
Is because we are taking Father's Day weekend and we're spending it with Dustin's family, so we won't be live streaming, so we can give the family our undivided attention and spend some quality time with them. So I guess the Bad Batch 2 will have to wait until next We'll just do 2 episodes in one or something like that.
I think that's probably the best way to go.
Watch something major happens and we can't talk about it.
And I'm like,
But we'll at least have our reaction and spoiler review up before we, head off for Father's Day. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right into episode 2. If you haven't watched the episode yet, you might be walking into spoiler territory. So we suggest that you maybe put this video on pause and come on back later once you've watched the episode. Or if you don't care about spoilers, then by all means, stay with us, hang out with us. We really enjoyed episode 2 of Loki. Everything is moving pretty quickly because they only have 4 more episodes after this one. So they got to get Loki to where Loki's got to go by, however they're going to end this series. And I feel like it was Movie Bunch Debbie, that let us know last week that this is actually going to have multiple seasons.
Yes.
Show. Like there's at least a season 2.
Out of all of the shows that Marvel did, I think Loki does well. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, will also do a really good ability to have season 2, season 3.
Mm-hmm.
But Loki, since this Loki is very much a variant, he is outside the timeline. You can now really spend more time with him. You have all the time in the world, in a sense.
Yeah.
And I like how they're evolving it to where he may or may not be a part of the TVA for a longer period of time.
For you okay over there?
Yeah, that was me.
Foreseeable future. I like what Jeremy put in the chat there as I try to put up this photo of the timekeepers. So Jeremy writes, let me find it. Do you think the 3 timekeepers could be Loki, Wanda, and Doctor Strange? They look like the 3 in the TVA orientation video. They could join together in the next Doctor Strange film and start the TVA. I mean, I never really thought of it that way because after what Dustin had said, it could be that because no one's met the timekeeper other than Ravonna or
besides
her
that
name
one
is.
judge.
Yeah, besides her, who I think has been linked romantically to King the Conqueror, it's making me think that there's actually no timekeepers and that there is actually just King the Conqueror. But again, we don't know that. That's a theory. We know nothing. But that's actually a really interesting theory, though.
Yep, and now it's time for our fan theories. Mephisto's all behind it.
Yeah, oh my God.
But honestly, that is one of the things that I love about these shows the most, is the fact that we get to start doing these fun fan theories, what we think is going to happen. Are there actually 3 timekeepers, or is it just one who's King the Conqueror?
Yeah.
And we know that King the Conqueror is going to show up because they've already announced who's playing him. So I'm just excited to find out how they tie all of this in, and the way now that we know that there's also, in a sense, there's multiple Lokis.
Yes.
We know, because what is it? Right before they went out, they showed all of those variant Lokis, and one of them looked
Beefy
Loki. One of them that looked like he took like the Hulk serum kind of a thing, which actually would be funny if, like, say, Loki, after getting beaten up by the Hulk, went and found some Hulk serum, or
that'll never happen again.
And now he's like, I'm gonna be beefy Loki.
Loki smash. Oh man, that's great. Yeah, I like seeing the very quick flashes of the other, Loki variants. I also like that Loki kind of being tasked to kind of do some research and actually help with the TVA. So it's weird to see him like, this is Loki, God of Mischief, a god, sitting behind a desk in a library trying to do research, and upon finding out the destruction of Asgard, realizing potentially if an apocalypse was going to happen and nothing else was going to change that because it was meant to happen, a variant could very well hide within that time and never be detected. So
and
because of that, they go to Pompeii, and Loki, he doesn't just like go unnoticed. He's like in full Latin, I am Loki. Eat your meat, keep your stomachs full, eat your last meal because this volcano is going to blow up. People are like, okay, releasing the goats, causing a little, tiny little bit of chaos where Mobius is like, really, nothing's happening. I'm not getting any sort of like a breach or alert that there's a variant here. And then boom, the volcano goes off. And that's how they lead us to, 2050, the apocalypse in Oklahoma. Where everybody's holed up for shelter at a rock smart, which looked very kind of Blade Runner-y to me.
Yeah. Well, it's also the fact that it's supposed to be like right before an apocalypse and right before in the future. It was 2050.
I think
Is
so.
that what they said?
I think so.
And it makes sense too that it's going to be a weather natural disaster that takes it out. But I loved how they set that reality up. How they're able to do whatever they want in these little bubbles of time to be able to keep themselves hidden.
Yeah. So what's interesting once we got there is kind of Loki's intention of, he's cooperating with the TVA and he wants to prove that he's trustworthy, especially to like Mobius, because he wants to try to get in front of the Timekeeper. And initially not you, but I was initially thinking maybe he just wants to see if he can talk his way out of surviving like in this timeline or whatever, so he doesn't pruned or reset or whatever it may be. But then you, I think, said it like he's going to try to get in front of the Timekeepers, but then infiltrate and essentially take over the TVA.
Loki is still one of those characters. He hasn't gone through all of the stuff that the original Loki went through of being responsible for his mom's death, for being there for Thor, and going up against Thanos, kind of a thing. He's not there yet.
Yes.
So I'm still thinking that somewhere back in his mind, he's still trying to get a grip on that power to be able to stab someone in the back. And it's like, you've literally done that like 50 times.
Yeah.
Well, I'll never do it again.
Yeah, it's a great.
That is one of the greatest lines in the series so far. Even though I have to admit, there are a ton of them, just because of the dynamic between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston.
They're so much fun to watch, and you can see them like Mobius really wanting to trust Loki, and this Loki, Tom Hiddleston Loki, is the key to catching this variant that's been like 2-3 steps ahead of them. But of course, in Rocksmart, we get to finally witness the variant, because Loki was right. And why were they taking all the little time door, I'm calling them time doors, and all the reset charges, and why did they take that one Minuteman that they actually found, where she's kind of like traumatized, like it's real, and I'm like, well, what's real? And then everybody's saying, I told them how to get to the Timekeepers, and I'm like, okay, are we going to explore that then? Because like, do we get to see? So there was a lot to unpack, especially in the second half of this episode. But the biggest thing, obviously, was the reveal. Is we can call her Lady Loki for now, but we're gonna get into it because I see a super chat
that
from
fits in
Bleeding Green.
Perfectly. Thank you so much, Bleeding Green.
Thank you, Bleeding Green, my awesome mod for my Twitch channel. John writes, so I'm starting to think that Lady Loki is actually Enchantress, or a variation of that character. So I actually asked Dustin this morning when we were on our way down to pick up our awesome Club 33 mugs from our PO box from Chris. And I said, hey, what do you know about the Enchantress? And Dustin told me what he knows about it, because we didn't catch this because we didn't sit through all of the credits because I needed to edit. So I was like, well, I'm just going to watch that later, because I usually do a second watch later on once I've like recovered from sleep deprivation. And a lot of the people commenting on our reaction video, and as well as you guys, saying that this is maybe, yes, we can call her Lady Loki, but in the credits she's actually credited as Sylvie, or Sylvie, and that is the name of the Enchantress.
Which makes a lot of sense, that in one iteration of the timeline, instead of Loki, it was the Enchantress. And I'm actually hoping that it would be, because if it was Lady Loki, I think they would have gone with the black hairstyle.
That's what I thought too.
And Enchantress is blonde, if I'm not mistaken. I would have to double check up on that now that I think about it. But I do think, yes, she is blonde. And she's had a lot more connections with Thor, because she's always tried to, I don't want to say win Thor's heart, because technically it's more along the lines of brainwash Thor.
Sorry, I just thought this comment was funny. Hello, what, 890? Just watch. The Timekeepers were like, it's okay. We saw it coming. I love that. But yeah, like she, if her obsession, I guess, with Thor, but she would have wanted to like be able to mind control him.
Maybe that's also what she's trying to do. She's trying to find a version of Thor that she will be able to manipulate and control, because probably in almost all iterations of the multiverse that she's traveled through, Thor's always been very strong-willed, been been very unmanipulated to make.
Why didn't she just get Endgame Thor then? Because he was kind of a little like mentally broken.
Because that's also not the Thor that she loves. She wants that strong, imposing, I am Thor, god of thunder, kind of Thor. But I love Enchantress. I love, I love you kind of a thing. But it would be interesting if they're going to tie that together and Thor love and thunder.
I don't know, man. There's so much. That's why this show and WandaVision was so fun to watch, because like we can kind of speculate. I don't expect any of our fan theories to be correct. We've learned at all about from WandaVision. We've learned not to fixate on a fly on a curtain, to be like, what is that? What is that? So we're trying to learn not to do that, but it's still a lot of fun to kind of speculate.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I would love to see in this somewhere they come across the Thor and they turn him into Frog Thor.
Oh, that's a thing?
Yep, that is a thing. There is a Thor frog version, and I'm like, that would be funny.
Interesting. We've got comments flying in the chat here. Jaden says this lady Loki's outfit is from Agents of Asgard comic book. She has the same trench coat and the one horned. It's actually
no. She has two horns.
No, she has one. Is like
actually,
I have a photo. I made all these photos.
Is always prepared.
See, her left one is.
One of them is broken.
Cut off. Yeah. So, that's what Jaden is saying in the chat. Let me go back to it real quick. Let's see here. Trench coat and one horn tiara. Yeah. And then, let's see. To be fair, says, hello, what? The fan theories are fun to bring up. Yep. Especially since Marvel's is animating series called What If? Yeah. That's what's so fun. And I think as long as you don't get stuck inside your own headcanon, that you'll convince yourself your headcanon is what's going to happen on screen.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be okay, because you should probably drop expectations like that when you walk into any movie of any type and just like let the story tell itself and then decide afterwards, if it spoke to you or not. But since we're talking about her with all those reset charges, Loki, of course, running after her, disappearing. So who knows where they're going to end up in episode 3. But we have a couple of photos that we pulled from when she bombed the timeline. And we want to take a look at some of these locations and years. Specifically, what stood out to me is actually not Asgard, though I guess that caught my attention. And I was like, wait, Asgard? But she's also sent a charge over to Vormir. And Vormir was the place where we lost both Gamora and Black Widow for the exchange of the Soul Stone.
Yes. And honestly, when you start going through all of these and realizing that these are very important places and during important times,
and a lot of
what
connections to the
love
Avengers
about this happening is the fact that now Marvel can kind of be like, we can now do whatever we want. And we have a perfect explanation on why certain events might not line up with certain events in previous movies. Well, why did this happen in this movie, but this didn't happen? Where is this character during this time? And it could be very simple that, it's because those timelines got bombed. So we have no idea which timeline is the true timeline, which timeline is now a variant, it gives Marvel a lot more freedom to kind of start being able to do whatever they want and going further into phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, and not worry about a certain line that a character might have said in phase 1. Right. Kind of a thing.
They can easily like retcon or have like a reasoning for it. Not really retcon, but a reasoning for that.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a second screenshot of more of these locations that she's sending the charges to, and that includes also Ego and Titan.
Titan.
Yeah.
I am that one. I was like, what?
And
because imagine what would have happened if she took out Thanos or took out half of the population of Titan. And now there is no destruction of Titan.
Because he doesn't need to get the Infinity Gauntlet.
He now no longer needs to get the Infinity Stones because half of Titan has already been wiped out.
I'm so curious because if you look at the image, it says event, date, time, and location. So if we're focusing on Titan here, the event numbers, I can't decipher that. Like, I don't really know what any of those numbers mean, but we can look at the date, and it says October 13th, 1982. So exactly what happened then. And also Ego, like, that's crazy.
The
Because
fact that they're pretty much blowing up
Guardians
Ego.
of the Galaxy is the one not blowing up, the resetting. Well, who knows what's happening there. And the time for Ego is December 27th, 1382.
Oh, what was the timeline for Ego? Because Blade just brought up a good point. Ego.
December 27th, 1382.
13. Oh.
1382. What did Blade say?
Did she kill Ego before Peter was conceived?
Well,
But honestly,
Peter Quill was about what, like late 30s, mid 20s, or early 30s?
It was in the 70s.
But
he was born in 1970s around there.
But Ego is a planet, so it's kind of like the age is. So if she killed him, then Peter Quill would never exist.
Exactly.
So
Nor does what Ego did in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when he went to all those different planets, impregnated all those different creatures to try and find a version of himself that had his powers.
Oh my gosh.
It would have been
because Ego's a celestial.
Yeah. And also, what is it? Blade said something else that was really interesting. Things are slowly starting to develop into madness, a multiverse of madness, if you will. And I'm like, that's brilliant. This really does. This is a multiverse of madness that is going on at this very time. We're seeing, I personally think that we are seeing the beginning of what happens, or what the main story plot line is going to be in the next Doctor Strange movie.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Latest comment in the chat from KL Gree, who writes, what if all these branch timelines are episode plots from What If? Oh!
That would be brilliant!
Oh
my gosh, you hit all!
Ooh.
I like that theory.
That's actually a really good theory.
That.
That's a great theory. I want to go ahead and take a look at the other... is that the same one? No, this is a different one. So they go to Asgard, or they send a charge to Asgard as well, and the time for that is February 16th, 2004. When did the first Avengers movie come out?
Around that?
Not the Avengers, I'm sorry. When did the Thor movie come out?
Oh.
Is she potentially sending a charge to Asgard?
That is very possible.
That time, you talk.
There could have also been something that happened that involves her timeline as well. Because she wants to, honestly, that would be really smart, to be able to erase something in her timeline so that it erases all evidence or all information about her. That's kind of a thing. It's the best way to stay ahead of your enemy is keeping your enemy in the dark about your motivations and who you are and what you want.
And especially if she's got this, like she's in love with Thor, it would kind of make sense if she's trying to reset or doing something in Asgard there. We have a super chat flying in from Marcus Walker.
Thank you so much.
Marcus, it's been a while. Thank you so much for your super chat. Interesting that Loki wants to take control of the TVA while Lady Loki seems to want to destroy it. What does she know about the TVA that we don't? That is the question.
That is actually a really good question. What is it about it that makes her want to destroy it?
Yeah.
And, you can kind of think that Loki just wants the power. He just wants to be in control. He saw that the thing that he thought was so powerful to begin with, which is an Infinity Stone, is absolutely worthless here.
Right.
In the TVA.
Yes.
So there's now a new ultimate power that he can grasp onto. And I'm wondering how, I still think he's putting on an act.
Wow. Loki? Tom Loki?
Tom Loki. Loki Tom.
Loki Tom.
Is going to do that.
Man.
And he's still going to come out with stabbing in the back kind of a thing.
Yes.
But I'm wondering if he is going to start to turn more to the hero Loki and less into the villain Loki.
I think he's just how do you not follow her?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's like, I understand what it probably looked like to like Mobius and the other TVA agents. But like, how do you not follow this variant and be like, well, what, like she literally, holy crap, just blew up the sacred timeline, and now she's like, well, bye. And it's interesting.
Peace, bitches.
I'm out. But it's interesting that we are kind of theorizing that because of the way she was credited at the end of the show under the name Sylvie as opposed to Lady Loki. Oh no, I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh no.
That's okay. Because I actually have a great comment here too. From Hello What 890. Or that timeline is actually referencing a comic. One of the comic series of Thor ended in 2004, which I think is hilarious that they're going to throw in some of those Easter eggs too, that when these certain series ended, that's actually because they ended because Lady Loki sent a charge over there and blew it up.
Oh my gosh. That's interesting. I like that theory a lot. And I remember what I was going to say. So, and I lost it again. Dang it. This heat. I'm like sweating profusely. I'm trying to sit really, really, really still. But I'll touch on this other topic. We're talking about Vormir being a part of the Sacred Time, the places where she sent the charges.
Yeah.
Remember in our reaction video where I said Loki was sitting on the rock with someone that looked very much like the silhouette of Natasha, and then people were like, oh, that's probably Lady Loki, and I was like, oh, that's probably correct, because you can't tell, but and the body type does seem to be a little different, but it's also like lighting and everything could play into it, but because it's kind of like got some orange tint to it, and the fact that one of the charges was sent to Vormir, it kind of gives me hope that maybe potentially still could be Natasha as opposed to Lady Loki.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and also what could be really interesting is the fact that in an alternate universe, Hawkeye threw himself off.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, they did fight. What if Hawkeye actually got the upper hand and he killed himself, and then you now have Natasha still alive, but she ends up getting trapped on Vormir?
I don't know. That's really interesting. And then the thought that I kept on escaping me has now come back. There's a reason why she kept on saying when he called her Loki, she's like, don't call me that. Call me Randy instead. So maybe that fan theory of her, the credits, that because her name isn't like Loki or a variant, like she is technically not. She's Sylvie. She's technically the Enchantress. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. But anyways, you guys, it is getting so hot in here.
Another theory. Okay, another fan theory. The reason why she killed all of them, but there was still one baby that was left, and that was the child that Odin took to raise as his own, and then Thor, so that could be, and it's her name's not Loki. Her name is Sylvie.
Yeah. Well, we will have a lot to look forward to the next episode. We can't wait. So we hope you guys join us for another live stream where we talk all spoilers for Loki. I don't know. Let us know in the comments or in the chat as we end this live stream what you're looking forward to in the next episode. Where do you think they're going to go? What do you think Ravonna is going to do? Ravonna is going to do, I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly, but like Gugu Mbatha's character, because she grabbed her own weapon and she was like, I got to take care of this. Because everybody looked like they were just shocked. Like, how do you do this?
Yeah.
How do you fix it? We don't know. So, and I also want to know,
how do you fix an egg that you've dropped, pretty much?
Put Humpty Dumpty back together. And also that one agent that was kidnapped, and she was kind of like, it's real. What does she see?
Yeah.
So that she's like, oh my God, it's real. What could it have been to have shocked her that much? Because I figured if you're working at the TVA as a Minuteman agent, like you've seen some stuff. Mm-hmm. You're playing with time, so you've seen stuff. So what is real? The multiverse is real. I don't know. Maybe. That seems.
Or maybe this is the creation of the multiverse because of all of the damage that was done to it by Lady Loki.
Yeah.
This now creates the multiverse, and we're going to see it come into effect because I think Spider-Man No Way Home comes out before.
It's the last one this year.
Yeah.
So we're getting Black Widow.
Then Spider-Man. Then Doctor Strange, right? Because Doctor Strange isn't until next year. I might be wrong. Honestly, dates have switched around so often. I keep on messing it up.
I'm gonna look at it real quick before we go.
I am just so excited to see how this new phase is going to start coming out, because yeah, we have all the influence of these shows, and it gets us excited for the movies, and we still have Shang-Chi.
So it's gonna go Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and then Spider-Man.
Okay, so yeah, Doctor Strange is not until next year. That's what I thought.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and finish out our live stream here. We may or may not hop on my Twitch channel later to play some video games, depending on how heated. Some Luigi. Yes, just to see how heated this apartment gets, because we're going to turn off all the appliances after this, so the house can cool down and I'm going to stop sweating. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was such a fun discussion. I can't wait to chat with you guys more for episode 3. If you haven't already, thumbs up this video. Really helps us out a lot here on YouTube. Subscribe for more videos just like this one. And we'll see you guys very soon. Not this Saturday, but very, very soon. We'll have reviews coming up. We'll have vlogs coming up on the channel. So there are videos coming. With that said, we hope you have a good rest of the day. If you're in LA, stay cool, stay safe, drink water, stay hydrated, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.